What's up, fight fans? We're back. We have another big fight coming up this week, which is in the UFC, which is for the lightweight championship between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Justin Gaethje. So, with this fight, I've been looking forward to this for a while. If there was one guy I had to pick to beat Khabib, it would be Justin Gaethje, just because of the way he's built. He's a strong fighter with a wrestling base who can also strike, and especially in the fight with Tony Ferguson, he showed a lot more discipline. He showed a little bit more tightness in his striking, which I think could give Khabib problems. So let's start with Justin. In my opinion, and this is not news, this is something he's spoken about. One of the things that he needs to do is the leg kicks, utilize his leg kicks, which are very strong, particularly that calf kick when he throws it low, right below the knee, to try to take away some of Khabib's explosion on his shots. I think another thing he needs to do, which he does pretty well, is counter Khabib's jab with his overhand right. So Khabib throws the jab. Usually when Justin's fighting a guy, he'll pull on the jab a little bit and then fire his own right over the top of his opponent's jab. Khabib does utilize his jab. Sometimes I feel like it could be a little bit lazy, which is why I say Justin could try to time that and get his shot off. Another thing I would say is for Justin, use your jab. Use your jab. Keep that stick out there. Keep it in Khabib's face. Don't let him get comfortable, and just use that jab to kind of set everything up. And then I would also say, for Justin Gaethje, stay tight with your stand-up. Do not. Sometimes Gaethje has a tendency to have these lapses in concentration, and he'll start having too much fun in the cage, and then he'll start throwing these haymakers and some of these looping shots. He needs to stay disciplined. With a guy like Khabib, you got to stay disciplined. You have to stay tight. Everything's got to come from here, and you got to try to do your best to just keep Khabib, keep him in front of you, keep him at distance, land your shots, pivot off, make sure you know where he is at all times, and so that when he tries to eventually, which he will, go for that shot, you're prepared for it, and hopefully you can maybe even catch him on the way in or out if you're able to sprawl. For Khabib, I would say some of the keys is force Justin backwards. Khabib has to pressure. Do not get into a situation where you're sitting here dancing around kind of fighting at range. I think Khabib needs to take the approach that he took when he fought Edson Barbosa. In his face constantly. Pressure him. I have not really seen Justin Gaethje fight going off his back foot. So I'm not sure he can. He's really at his best when he's coming forward and he's sort of stalking his opponent. You even see it with the Tony Ferguson fight. I would say number 2, try to time Justin's leg kicks, which usually come from Justin Gaethje's right leg. He does kick with his left leg, but the overwhelming amount of his real power kicks, when he really hurts you, comes from his right side. So try to time that, and if Khabib can catch that kick and then shoot off that, getting Justin off balance to take him down. I think that, Khabib is going to have to stand for a little bit and engage with Justin. I don't see Khabib being able to shoot in from so far out like he does sometimes with some fighters, and that being effective because, as I said earlier, Justin does have a wrestling base. So I do feel like Khabib is going to have to trade with him for a little bit and sort of get that respect. And I think, as I said earlier, he's going to have to take advantage of Justin Gaethje's lapses in focus that he tends to have. So he's going to have to stand with him. I would say, utilizing his jab, utilizing combinations, because when you throw combinations, Justin tends to do this. He tends to shell up, and he doesn't really... He'll mainly counter off that jab. That's usually his main way of countering, is, you'll throw a jab, he'll try to come over the top with a right hand. But if you throw combinations at him, he'll usually shell up and stay here. And then maybe Khabib can shoot off that. So even if you throw multiple jabs, 1, 2, 3, 3 jabs, to where Justin feels like he can't just time it and come over the top, he'll shell, and then Khabib can shoot off that jab. And the last thing I would say for Khabib is use your experience. Khabib has been in there with so many different opponents, so many different guys who do different things well. And the one constant is he has always dominated. So if I had to make a pick, even though part of me really is worried about this fight for Khabib, like I feel like if I had to pick an opponent to beat him, it would be Justin Gaethje. I do sort of have a rule of not picking against an undefeated, dominant champion who has not shown me any reason to pick against him, has not shown me any slippage. I just find it very hard, and just sort of out of respect for that fighter, I just find it very hard to pick against him and say, oh, hey, you're going to lose. I think I'm going to go. Part of me really wants to take Gaethje, to be honest with you, with the underdog. I just feel like he's got an intangible that I don't know. I just feel like he might do it. But then my head says Khabib is going to find a way. And like I said, using his experience, he's been in there with so many different types of styles and so many, guys who wrestled well, guys who were better strikers than Justin Gaethje, quite frankly. We know what Khabib is going to do. At the end of the day, it's going to be go for the takedown, grab, clinch, make him hold his weight. And Khabib is so good from a technical standpoint in that aspect of the game, where he doesn't take that much damage. I'm going to say, I'm going to pick Khabib to grind out a decision. 5-round decision against Gaethje. Only because Gaethje is game, and I think he does have cardio. He does have endurance. But I think Khabib may have another gear in terms of that cardio. So that's my pick, guys. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. And to see Gaethje, even land something and maybe get Khabib in trouble. But again, this is why we watch the fight. So let's see what happens. Hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you hopefully soon on the next fight.